Welcome to This Daring Adventure podcast, where we work on bridging the gap between where we are and where we want to be in order to live a bigger and bolder life. In this podcast, we will provide inspiration, tips, and skills you need to make your life the adventure you want it to be. Here's your host, mindset mentor, and life coach, Trista Guertin.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of This Daring Adventure. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about your unlimited potential. As a species, we are designed to want more. It is innate in our DNA that we want to evolve, we want to grow, we want to keep getting to the next level. We have a feeling that we can create more and be more. Now, sometimes we might not always know what that is, and that's okay. Other times we know exactly what that is, but we could be too afraid to pursue it. And this is all completely normal. I think, though, when we put off following our dreams, acknowledging that we want more, it can go on for years. And we'll ignore it, we'll push it away, we'll prioritize other things. We can really drown it out with daily life, other people, commitments, kids, a job, career. And in fact, what we are doing is we put off realizing our dreams. And it can be for our entire lives. We land up living the way we feel we should instead of how we truly want. And instead of listening to that urge that calls to us, we are living according to the rules of others and not our own. We land up giving more airtime and more weight to the voices and the opinions of our parents, our teachers, maybe from our religion, our culture, society, media, more than our own. And what happens, in fact, is that we keep ourselves very strictly defined and straitjacketed because it is safer and easier. And a lot of times people don't realize that this kind of living is completely optional. The good thing is that our mind, our brain, is the most powerful asset that we have. And when it comes to creating more for ourselves, going after what we truly want, creating a life that is truly our own, when we can manage our brain well, we can create anything we want. And it is learning the necessary skills and mastering them, which is key. But it's important to note that if anything is humanly possible, you can do it too. And what this means is that a happier, bolder, braver you and a new and different future for yourself is completely possible. Even though right now you may not know what that is and maybe you can't envision it. I want to stress that it is completely possible. One of the most important things, though, is that you cannot listen to your brain. Now, I know I said earlier that we have this innate drive to create more and to be more for ourselves. And of course, part of this, we have to use our brain for it. It has to come from there. But we also have the primitive part of our brain, which is designed to keep us safe. It's designed to protect us and to keep us alive. It's designed for our survival, not our success. And it is essentially almost outdated programming because we're not concerned so much today with our daily survival. We have our daily survival pretty much guaranteed. We have heat, we have running water, we have food readily available. But the brain, our primitive part of our brain, continues to scan for problems and will default to the negative. And it will perpetuate all of our limiting beliefs. because they are on a thought loop in our heads. And they are easier to just keep thinking instead of the brain having to expend any energy to think something new, because it takes work to think something new and to believe something new. A belief is just a thought you keep on thinking. So it's easier for our brain to be efficient and not expend the energy to think something new. And it doesn't like to take the risks. So it makes it very challenging for us to try anything new or to make anything changes. And at the same time, our brain likes to give us a lot of negative thoughts about what our potential is. And I know for myself, I've had a lot of thoughts about how I've wasted so much time and I'm not where I should be, and that I don't have as much potential in some areas as maybe I used to or as other people do. Maybe I've missed the opportunity. It's just too late. And when we indulge in that line of thinking, we tend to hide ourselves. We hold ourselves back. We keep playing it safe and stay small. We feel the fear and we believe that something has gone wrong, and all of it means that we have to stop, that we just shouldn't do it, that it's just not right, and it's just not possible. But the good news is that you do have unlimited potential. Your potential is not something that you can lose or squander or waste. And we tend to have this thought and we tend to have this idea that our potential is something that we are born with and that it's not within our control. And we might have had some potential when we were younger, before, right? When we were first born, when we were kids and then adolescents, before we started making some of the bigger decisions about where we were going to go to university and who we were going to marry and what jobs we were going to take. So we may have had it, but then somewhere along the way, we've lost it. And we start comparing ourselves against some imaginary position and idea and even to others, and make ourselves feel badly. Right? We believe all of this thinking. We believe that it's just a fact, that it's a circumstance, that this is truth and real. But it's not. We're completely wrong about that. You cannot lose your potential. It's not too late. You haven't wasted it. It is not something that you were born with, and it's not a defined amount. There's no limitation to the amount of potential that you have. And once you start telling yourself a story that it's too late, that you're not good enough, that you've wasted your potential, that you're not as smart, that you haven't worked hard enough, that you've wasted time, that maybe you should have had a different degree, whatever it is, you'll look for evidence for this. Your brain will be scanning for evidence of this, and you will find it. Right? What you look for, you will find. And we will believe all of these thoughts that our brain is offering us, and we just accept them. But it's never true. Your potential is unlimited, and it is optional. It will be based on how you see yourself. It will be based on how you view the world around you. And it will be based on the story that you tell about your past, about your present, and about your future. And the way you think about all of these, yourself, the world, your past, your future, is always a choice. You will be telling yourself stories about each of these. And you have a choice of how you want to think about them. And the way you think about them will dictate your potential. Your potential is just a thought, and it will be based on the story that you are telling yourself. Whatever you choose to think, and you have the option to think whatever thoughts you want, will ultimately decide your potential. And this is based on the think, feel, do results model. That your thoughts will create your feelings. Your feelings will drive your actions. Your actions will create your results. And I want you to really think about this, because this is literally the key to the universe. If you can understand this and then start applying this in your life on a daily basis, you will understand why you are getting the results that you are currently and what you need to change in order to create the results that you truly want. Your results are not random. They are a direct result of your thoughts. So you truly need to pay attention to what you're thinking about every day in terms of your past, your present, your future, yourself, the world around you, and what your potential is, because these will determine what results you're getting. And what you're focusing on and giving your attention to is what you will create more of. It will create what you are believing about yourself. What you think about, you will create. If you think right now about your life and what you have in it, all of the good things that you have in it, could be your marriage, could be your children, your job, your degree, your family, your friends. All of these things you have created. You had an idea, you had a desire, and you brought it into reality. And it's important to understand that you can create anything you want. Your potential is always unlimited. So feel the gratitude for what you have in your life. Understand and keep a list. If you have a journal, write down on a regular basis what you appreciate about your life, what you've created for yourself. You did this, you created it. And expressing that appreciation will give yourself some evidence of how powerful you are. So how can we begin to reframe how we view our potential? One of the first things is to have awareness around your thinking. As I just mentioned, you have the ability to create your results based on what you're thinking, you're feeling, and you're doing. So it's very important to create that awareness around what you're thinking every single day. Recognize the fear and the negativity and understand that that's what your brain is offering you. Decide which thoughts are serving you and what is not. Ask yourself questions about the thoughts that your brain is offering you. Is this true? What else could be true? What evidence do I have to the contrary? Your brain will offer you thousands of thoughts each day, and many will not be worth listening to. Most will be negative. But if you remember that your actions will come from your thinking, what you do or what you don't do, the actions that you take are a direct result of your thoughts and your feelings. So you will need to pay very close attention to what you think about regarding your past, your future, yourself, and the world around you. No one can remove or eliminate your potential because no one can control your thoughts, right? There are no thought police. You can think whatever you want. You always have that choice. And when you can cultivate that awareness around what you're thinking and then consciously choose what you want to start thinking on purpose, that's where your power is. And that's how you ultimately learn how to create the results that you want. But you need to choose wisely. And it is work. It's a skill, it's a practice that you need to work on. It's not necessarily easy, but with practice, you do become better. And your brain will offer you a ton of thoughts, and it will always try to prove you wrong. As long as you have a human brain, this is what it's going to offer you. But you can become better at understanding what's going on, having that awareness, and then redirecting it, refocusing it. Understanding is key. But it's just like any other new skill you need to learn or to build. It's like learning to play an instrument. It's like learning to read. It's like learning to speak another language. You have to keep practicing. You have to keep it up, but you will get better at it. Next, you need to consciously decide what you want to believe about yourself. And the wonderful thing is that you get to decide what you want to believe. You get to choose. You get to decide what you're capable of and what is possible for you, regardless of what anyone else may think or say. And this includes your own brain. You don't want to necessarily listen to what your brain is offering you about what your potential is and what is possible for you. You get to decide. Your brain is designed to keep you safe. It's scanning for problems. It's going to default to the negative. And while this worked great, as I said, for our evolution and for our survival, it's now outdated programming. So become aware of it, decide what you want to believe, and consciously work on believing it. Put the work in, consciously decide. You cannot believe everything your brain offers you. The key is to supervise it, manage it, focus, and tell it what you want to believe. Practice thinking it so that it becomes a belief for you. You need to take responsibility. You need to focus it. Consciously decide what you want to believe. Next, you want to adopt a growth mindset. This comes from the work of Dr. Carol Dweck, her book, Mindset. She writes about how we either have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. Not too long ago, we believed that humans, adults, had a fixed mindset that we could not grow and learn and change and evolve once we reached a certain age. But we know that's no longer true. And by adopting a growth mindset, we believe that what we are now is different than what we were before and from what we will be in the future. And everything is simply a matter of effort. If we work at something, we can become better. And in adopting this mindset, it also influences our personal sense of worth, success, and our ability, and overall, our potential. We're not afraid of failure. We're not threatened by mistakes and taking risks. We feel successful and worthy and purposeful when we are learning, when we are trying, when we are going after what we truly want. And we view learning something new as an opportunity to grow just because we get to do it, not because we need to do it perfectly, and not necessarily because of achieving the results immediately. Right? We don't look for instant success and recognition. When we adopt a growth mindset, we have the potential to go further and to grow bigger in all aspects of our lives. We're ready to take more risks. We're ready to challenge ourselves more. We are comfortable making mistakes. And it's not about whether, we don't spend time worrying about whether we're good enough or how much potential we have or don't have. We just go ahead and we know that no matter what, we can learn and we can expand and we can get to the next level. So therefore, potential is just unlimited. It's just a given. And we are good enough. We're 100% worthy. We're not questioning our likability or our likableness or our lovability. They're never at risk and they're never in question. Right? It's the fear that keeps us stuck and questioning our potential. But when you are already worthy and you are already lovable, what do you want to do now? What do you want to create for yourself? So I highly recommend her book, Look at the Growth Mindset, because that's what will move you forward. Fourth, you want to be conscious of the story that you are telling yourself. This goes back, it's very similar to being aware of what you're thinking. And you want to look at the stories you're telling yourself about your past, your present, your future, the world, yourself. And go from telling yourself negative stories like, I've wasted my time, my degree wasn't good enough, I shouldn't have done this, I should have gone here, I should be further along in my career, I didn't work hard enough, to my past was perfect for me. I haven't even scratched the surface yet. I'm just getting started. Failure means nothing about me. I'm already 100% worthy. If you look at the first line of thinking that I've wasted my time or I'm not good enough or I should have a different degree, they're going to make you feel hopeless, defeated. And from that place, you're not going to be taking very inspired action. Sometimes you won't even take any action at all. You're not even going to try. And that's when you do hold yourself back and you hide yourself and you play small, thereby not allowing for any of your potential. You don't allow yourself to create anything. But if you can shift to, I'm just getting started, my past was perfect for me, how will you be feeling? You will be feeling more inspired. You will be feeling more determined and focused. And from that place, you will be taking positive action that will move you forward and create the results that you truly want. Next, you want to be future focused. You want to spend more time thinking about your future rather than your past. Because when you're thinking about your past, you're just going to create more of that. So think about what you want for your life. Think about what you want it to look like and spend time there. Focus on the long term and who you want to become rather than the short term and who you've been. Invest in yourself. Invest in your time, your money, your energy. Invest your emotions in working on yourself, learning, growing, focusing your energy and your attention on where you're going and what you want to create. Don't spend time looking backwards. Think about your lessons that you've learned from your past and leave the rest behind. And keep your focus forward. Remember that fear and doubt will just take up space. And if you're not consciously choosing what to think, your brain is going to be operating on autopilot. And when it's operating on autopilot, it's going to keep repeating the same thinking, the same thoughts that keep you stuck, keep you playing small and holding yourself back. You have to consciously choose what you want to think. If you keep repeating the same limiting thoughts about yourself and you're believing that those are true, then that's what keeps you playing small and undermines truly your potential. So Don't believe everything you think. Challenge that idea that your potential has been lost or wasted or is no more. In actual fact, your potential is unlimited. It always has been. It cannot be lost. You get to decide what your potential is through your thoughts, your thinking, and then ultimately creating the feelings and taking the actions that you want. It's how you think about your past, your present, and your future that will help you to cultivate that potential for yourself and drive yourself forward towards creating the results that you want. Understand, have that awareness of how you're thinking and the story that you're telling yourself, and create a good story for yourself, something that is inspiring, something that serves you, something that will help you to feel better and do better. Remember, it's this think, feel, do cycle. Your thoughts will create your feelings. Your feelings will create your actions, and your actions will create your results. You keep that in mind and you reinforce that cycle. That's how you create the results that you want. So you need to be conscious and you need to be aware constantly of what you're thinking. And you need to choose what you want to think. And you need to choose wisely. Okay, that's what I have for you today. Your potential is unlimited. So get out there. Don't stay stuck. Create the life you truly want. If you want some help, if you want some support to cultivate that awareness around what you're thinking and how it's creating your feelings and driving your actions, sign up today for your free, private 1-hour coaching session with me. The link is in the show notes. This is a fantastic opportunity to take 1 hour, invest in yourself and your future. Let's talk about what's holding you back and where you're playing small, and how you can move yourself forward to create the results you truly want. I will talk to you in a couple of weeks. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to this Daring Adventure podcast with your host, Trista Guertin. We hope you enjoyed the tips and conversations on how to get excited about life again. As always, you can head to tristaguertin.com for additional resources and to book a one-on-one coaching session. You can also follow Trista on Instagram at Trista V. Guertin. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on Apple Podcasts. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.